Everybody shut up and action. Is Superman a good movie? I liked it. I thought it was a pretty enjoyable movie and I had a great time watching it. This movie is essentially a Superman story, not typical to what we've seen before, with me basically comparing it only to like Man of Steel, because that's the only other Superman movie I've seen. Haha, I got to watch them all. But anyway, this movie is not an origin story. So get that out of the way. It's not an origin story like, oh, we're going to start the DCU with Superman origin story. That's what I expected. That's not what I got. But regardless, I enjoyed this movie regardless. So the story of this movie is essentially Superman is on Earth. He's been on Earth for quite a while, and now his identity, his actions, everything he's done on this planet is being questioned after some new information has come to light, and this is giving Lex Luthor the perfect opportunity to try and rid Superman from this world, from his planet. So this is the story of Superman trying to deal with a variety of conflicts across the globe, while at the same time being berated and questioned on his purpose on Earth, having to face the difficulties of the society he fights to protect kind of turning on him. So yeah, this is the story like that. That's kind of how the story progresses. Not the most enticing plot narrative that will hook you into the movie and get like, oh, I need to know how does Superman fight all this conflict now. It's not the type of movie that's not something that's going to excite you and make you want to go sit in a theater. I don't watch trailers, so I can't speak on how the trailer would have influenced people's decisions on wanting to watch the movie. All I know is that you see the word Superman, you know you're going to theaters because Superman is an amazing superhero. We all love him. And Superman is wonderful. This movie was great. Superman, he's being portrayed as the epitome of hope. The S stands for hope. It's not actually an S, but, you know, it looks like an S, so we call it an S. And it's the word for hope. It means hope. It represents hope. Superman is the epitome of hope in this universe. He wants to save every living thing. He wants to save all the humans that are in danger. He wants to save all the animals that are in danger. He wants to save every tiny insect, every tiny squirrel. He just doesn't care about plants for some reason, but you know, to him they might not be living things, but whatever. But he's the epitome of hope for all living things that can move besides plants, and he wants to take care of them, make sure they survive, make sure they have the right to live. It's just Superman doing whatever he can to protect the people on this planet that he landed on. Yeah, so you see Superman doing all these things, and now his identity is coming into question, and you're like, okay, things are getting juicy. You're seeing Lex Luthor interact in ways to try and take down Superman. He doesn't like Superman's presence on Earth. He's gone this psychotic rage, being like, oh my god, I do not trust Superman. He's an alien. I don't want him on our planet. Oh, I am heavily jealous of Superman as well. So, you know, I will do whatever it takes to take him down. He goes on to create Ultraman and initiate some of the wildest battles with Superman, utterly taking Superman down by being like, okay, this is Ultraman. He's like an equal opponent for Superman. But with this knowledge database that I have gathered from Superman's battles throughout these past few years, I have been able to come up with a perfect method to counter Superman and take him down. Superman doesn't stand a chance. Like, in the DCU before James Gunn came, what we've seen from Superman is that he is this god. He is the ultimate strongest being in the universe. I mean, like, from what we've seen at least. Superman is the epitome of strength. He's hope, but he's also the strongest being in the universe. If there's any threat, if Superman's there, he'll take them down. When he was fighting in Justice League with against, what's that character's name? Darkseid. I forgot the villain from that movie. But like when he was fighting Darkseid only chose to come to Earth after Superman had died in Batman vs Superman. So in that movie, when Superman returns, they were entirely screwed. So it provides an interesting look here now that this is a completely new universe. This is immediately attacking or changing our perspective of what we saw from the other DCU to this one, and we see, okay, Superman, he is weak. He is being taken down with ease. Like, there's no moment in this movie where you're looking at Superman and seeing him as the symbol of strength. You're seeing him as this man who is actually more human in the sense that he's not some overpowered being anymore. He is just a man trying to fight to protect his planet, or not even his planet, to protect the citizens of his country, to protect the citizens of this world from various, from Lex Luthor's threat that isn't equal to Superman, but with his knowledge, it's beyond Superman. It's a showcase of brains are more powerful than brawn. So that is an interesting look right there on Superman actually being far more human than alien in this movie, which plays into a little bit of the identity of this character, where he's trying to see and prove himself as being more human than alien, and trying to connect with the people of Earth. So that plays there, and it's a really nice story from that standpoint. Honestly, this movie, it lacks its origins and substance behind the characters, because for the most part, you're not like watching this movie getting a grand type of world building. Like it's the first movie of the DCU where it's like the new universe, and I personally went in with the expectation to get the grounding base of the universe and whatnot. You're not getting an origin story for Superman. You're not getting like, okay, this is Metropolis, this is that. It's very limited world building in any sense of the word, and all you're really doing is seeing what this new Superman is like. So obviously, I feel like we'll learn a lot about Superman in like future movies and whatnot. But for this movie, at the very least, I feel like it would be very I can't speak for obviously. This is just an observational thought I had, but for me, at the very least, I don't know if it could be good for people who haven't seen a Superman movie in the past or are completely unfamiliar with Superman, which I doubt most people are. I feel like most people know who Superman is and his story, and the movie at the beginning does a good job in showcasing who Superman is. It's a man who came to planet Earth years ago as a baby. His pod landed here, and he was raised by human parents. I feel like it gave a quick little rundown of Superman's story, so you can get the hang of it and get going with the movie. But it lacks that origin story sort of connection. Like at the beginning of Man of Steel, we got a full-on connection with Superman that led us to root for him throughout the entire movie. Here, it lacks that sort of connection that you try to build with the character, and it does build a connection, but not through the origin story to understand Superman. And it feels like all your knowledge about Superman is coming from like Man of Steel and any previous Superman knowledge you may have from other movies or comics or whatnot, to understand who the character is, and then like from there you're kind of just progressing with the movie knowing that, and then allowing this movie to define what Superman is in this universe. Maybe I was watching it from the perspective of a universe rather than an individual movie, which might be influencing my thought process in that manner. But for the most part, I feel like it lacked that substance, and you're relying on the previous movies to build the foundations of the character from what this movie doesn't explicitly say to you at the very least. And then whatever it does showcase, it dictates how the Superman is for this universe at the least. And it does provide an interesting character and a different character from what we've seen in the past, and the story itself takes a completely different dynamic route. So Superman is portrayed as a really interesting character in this movie, and with the lack of an origin story, we're seeing very little of Clark Kent, actually. Like, it took me a while after this movie, like, I was just thinking about this movie and, like, just organizing my thoughts while riding the bus home from watching the movie, and I realized that you get very little substance of who Clark Kent is and what he is as a person, because just like how Batman is, like, a completely different Bruce Wayne and Superman, his character is, like, from past movies, once again, I keep comparing this to past movies, Superman feels very connected yet different from Clark Kent, which is his alter ego. But in this movie, we get very little of Clark Kent. Even when he's being portrayed as Clark Kent, he's always talking about Superman and his alter ego as Superman, and like maybe Superman doing a journalistic interview, or Superman in the workplace and his disguise or something. And everything about this movie just completely revolves around like the theme and character of Superman, whether he's Clark Kent or not. And we get very little time seeing him as Clark Kent. So everything is Superman related. You're getting a full depth of this character while lacking his origins. But like that little rundown just gives you the basis so you can see how the story progresses. And yeah, it provides an interesting standpoint and a character story to watch and follow, and see his relation with Lois Lane and all these other Justice gang members, which is like the foundation of a future Justice League. I mean, like, you got a Green Lantern with Guy Gardner there, Mr. Terrific, and Hawkgirl. They're the three that are there right now, and it's a story of like, oh, these are metahumans that already exist on our planet. Oh, Superman's an alien. He's one of the most powerful beings fighting for humanity. But guess what? We also have these heroes fighting for humanity. They're here to protect humans as a whole as well. So you're getting a look at a variety of characters. They don't have any backstory behind them, but like, it's not actually like necessary. It's not something that sticks out and bothers you as much, or at least for me, because they're characters that they're to support Superman. Showcase that he's not the only defender for planet Earth. That if conflicts arise, that if humanity is going to distrust Superman, they're there to pick up the mantle and just take care of humanity in that time. They are people humans can trust, and that trust is already developed between society and these guys. And they have interesting dynamics with Superman and throughout his questioning journey in this as well, because they obviously play a question. Wait, Superman isn't here for protecting humans? He has more nefarious purposes, perhaps? What? Like, obviously, these are the superheroes meant to protect humanity. Does this mean they have to fight Superman per chance? So yeah, it provides interesting dynamics about these superheroes and their conjunction with Superman and their conjunction with the world as well as we know it. So it provides interesting dynamics, and this entire movie plays off these dynamics really well and has you hooked and entertained. I feel like the story-wise, this movie is far more interesting than the plot, just the synopsis would dictate. And once you actually get watching in this movie, it is far more entertaining than you expected, and you're kind of hooked by the story and want to see how things progress, how Superman kind of discovers his own identity as a human, what it truly means, what his parents truly are to him, who his parents truly are to him, who his parents are to him at all, which parents he prefers, yada yada yada. And yeah, it's like a different twist on an identity journey story, and honestly, I really enjoyed that. Yeah, I want to say this movie does a beautiful job in being an immersive, expansive type of story. I love those types of things. I love losing myself, losing touch of reality, and just entering a completely fictitious world. Whether it's it can be assumed as an alternate version of our reality type of spy movie, or a complete fictitious movie like this where we're delving into a completely new universe. This is Earth, but it's not Earth as we know it with like New York, Toronto, and the various countries of the world. It's completely fictitious. Oh, we have Metropolis, we have Gotham, we have Boravia, Jahanpur. You have all these various countries. Obviously, they're inspired by the countries in our real world. But like, you know, it's a completely fictitious universe with fictitious characters, and everything's fictitious, and you're just immersed into it through the use of all these beautiful, expansive sort of shots that is creating this escapist sort of effect that allows you to let your mind exit our reality and just lose itself in this fictitious universe. This film is full of beautiful shots that just hook you by your soul. The vivid colors, the framing, the mise en scène, like how it places, oh, we're in the sky, just at clouds, and then right there in the screen is Lois and Superman flying. Oh, Superman flying huge on the screen. Oh, the Fortress of Solitude expanding out of the ground, showcasing it from different angles. Oh, look how gigantic it is. Look how tiny Superman looks. The most powerful being in this universe, just walking to it. Look how tiny he looks in wherever it is, all that snow-covered place. I think it's Antarctica or the Arctic. It wasn't clarified in this movie, and I kind of forget. But, you know, all these shots are so gorgeous. My favorite shot in this entire movie is this scene from an alien being fought in the background with Lois and Superman just talking in the foreground with these beautiful, vivid, like, I feel like everyone's seen, like, and I will have an idea of what the scene is because it was, like, the first shot of this movie that was showcased to everyone, and I feel like it's on a poster somewhere, but maybe I'm misremembering that, but it's an absolute beautiful shot that I would turn into a wallpaper any day. I want a poster of it. It is an absolute gorgeous shot that just immerses you into this movie. But the biggest criticism I have of this movie is that it enters a political state where it makes you break that entire escapist sort of immersiveness this movie was trying to create. Because through these shots, you can see that this movie is trying to immerse you into it through this escapist sort of shot creation, storytelling, visual storytelling. But then this is entire political subtext behind the story where the deeper meaning feels a lot more political, and it's instead of being like more subtextual where you have to think about it to observe it and see it, it's very open in saying it. I feel like part of it was unintentional, and this movie just lined up with times where these topics are far more prevalent. I'm not going to say what these political things are because there's quite a few different political things, and the reason I feel like these topics felt more prevalent in breaking the immersion for me was because I had read some discussions unintentionally on this movie, on the political movie. Like, I don't read discussions, I don't watch trailers. The only thing I look at for a movie is a poster, then I go watch it. But you know, sometimes like you no matter how well you try, you can't avoid everything, and some things get through, and then people's opinions, you hear them, and then that influences your thoughts on the movie and how you watch a movie, because the discussions people have on movies can change how you perceive stories and observe things, and that can impact your opinion on the movie. And of course, I ended up reading some political stuff unintentionally, and it kind of influenced the way I watched the movie. I saw things in ways which I felt like would have flown over my head when I was initially watching the movie, and because of that, of course, it just breaks that entire immersive sort of state that you're in, because all of a sudden, instead of breaking away from reality, it's like, oh, wait, these are real-world problems being fought about in our world today. Yeah. Oh, well, now I'm back in reality. Thanks a lot, but whatever. And it's funny, too, because when I just, like, was reading some stuff now after watching the movie and thinking about it, it's funny because all this stuff was written, and, like, it obviously there was chance for stuff to change, but not to the degree where this was chosen solely to be a political statement, right? Like, maybe like, character design could have been changed to look more like this, but the main sort of conflicts that are being portrayed in this movie were chosen before conflicts arose in the real world, and then suddenly people are viewing it as a statement. Like, regardless of whether it's a statement or not, that's your discretion on how you want to view it, of course, but once you hear that political state, people say stuff about it, it'll impact how you view it. And for me, at least, it broke the immersion, because suddenly you're being grounded back to reality. Like, this can be seen as some stuff that's happening in our real world. Oh, we're seeing something here. Oh, wait, that's how it's happening in our real world, in a way. But oh my god, and yeah, that kind of breaks the immersion. And then all the other criticism you happen to read feels like it's all politics. Like, oh my god, you didn't like the movie. It's everything you're talking about this movie is because you're leaning this way. And then, you're loving this movie is because you're leaning this way. You're not actually talking about the movie. You're just talking about the political view and your thoughts on that. So, at least I wasn't influenced by people's reviews. I was able to come up with my own thoughts on the movie. But it feels like a lot of the movie was kind of my viewing of the movie was impacted by that. But regardless, I still enjoyed the movie. The expansive shots were absolutely gorgeous, and then like the development of Superman's character is really engaging and hooking. And then the post-credit scenes lead you into understanding the future of the universe to a degree. I think only one post-credit scene. Oh no, it wasn't even the post-credit scene. It was the ending of the movie. The post-credit scenes were just more fun watches, not anything legit. I mean, I saw a theory where it talked about how the second post-credit scene kind of related with something I talked about earlier, and how I felt like this Superman was breaking away from the DC or Snyder's Superman universe, and kind of showcase how the Supermans are different. And it was trying to make a joke about how DC Superman's going to be different from the Snyder one. And it kind of sucks, because I really liked Henry. It doesn't suck, but like, I really liked Henry Cavill's Superman, Ben Affleck's Batman, and I really want to see the full story that Snyder had in mind, and I want to see his entire journey. The entire story he had in mind for their expansive universe. Unfortunately, we will not be seeing that. Maybe one day we will be able to revisit it and see the entire story that he had in mind. But right now, we're going to see what James Gunn has in store for us with our new cast and lineup. And I'm excited. I want to see the future. Like, we have another bunch of superhero movies coming up, like with Lanterns. Green Lantern is my favorite hero. I loved him in this movie. He was honestly borderline with Mr. Terrific too. He's a completely new hero I didn't know, but like, he's one of my favorites now. I really like his character. Maybe not one of my favorites, but I really like his character, and he has potential to enter my favorites. Green Lantern is my favorite because he has like my favorite superpower, which is completely based around the concept of creativity. And then you have Superman, of course, the badass that he is with an amazing suit. And then there's Supergirl being viewed in this movie, and it gets you excited for the potential future of Supergirl. Krypto's in this movie. It's Superman's pet dog. I learned of his existence from some kids movie that was surrounding superhero dogs, which was just weird, but which was a weird movie on its own. But Krypto, it's a cool character here, and if this movie has taught me one thing, is that whoever has Krypto needs to put him on a leash. He acts as this sort of comic relief, while at the same time just a wild, crazy dog, like a dog that ate a bunch of drugs and is high. He's just super energetic, not paying attention to anything, being a dog, and somehow his being a dog is being used as a problem for the superheroes, and then like success and an aid to superheroes, and it just portrays how dogs truly are. And they're just chaotic, like when you have an energetic dog, and that's what Krypto truly is. But like, you can't help but find yourself loving Krypto throughout this entire movie. Whenever he's not on screen, he doesn't make any impact, of course, and you're not really missing him. But when he's on screen, he is impacting the story in meaningful ways where you're kind of engaged to his character. He's not just there meaninglessly tossing a dog. Oh, he's Superman's pet. No, he's there for a purpose, whether it's to help the heroes, create problems for them, or just add a little comic relief. Like, I really enjoyed Krypto's presence in this movie, and I just love the character of Superman in this movie. I loved everything about him. He's the new symbol of hope, and he portrays everything humans love about him. I mean, I love this character. I like the David Corensett. I forget his. I can't pronounce his last name. I loved his portrayal of Superman. I thought he fit well. Lex Luthor, Nicholas Hoult. I love him as an actor, and he portrayed Lex Luthor brilliantly. The greatest hater in humanity. It's funny because Nicholas Hoult auditioned for Superman and didn't get the role, and now he's just the biggest hater in the world. It felt like he wasn't even acting; he was just hating on Superman, and that went over here. But like in all seriousness, his portrayal of Lex Luthor was a beauty. Like you dislike Lex Luthor, but at the same time you're active, like you're not rooting for him, but you're enjoying his attack and assault on Superman, and you can't help but admire how far a man is willing to go to take down, to fight for what he wants. Like he's not some power hungry man. He's just someone who actively despises Superman and wants him out. And it is inspiring to see, this is the lengths a man will go to make his vision or make what he thinks is right reality. Like maybe in this case what he's doing may not be right to some people or me, but like that level of inspiration is like, if you want to do something else in your life, go in with that level of passion. That's what I mean by inspiration. Take the motivation he has towards his goals and use that for yourself towards your goals. Hopefully not a goal that will harm other people, but like, let's say I have a goal of playing soccer at a high level or basketball or something at a high level. Take that motivation and move it there. I feel like I was saying something so weird that I have to clarify to this, but you know. But regardless, his character was exciting to watch and see this belt with Superman and how he went about to challenge this superior being. Like, Superman is clearly portrayed as a superior being. He has superpowers, for crying out loud. Like, no man can hope to stand against him. And Lex Luthor found a way to stand against him, and not just stand against him, but overpower him in its entirety. But yeah, this is an exciting movie because teamwork really does make the dream work, and that is how this movie showcases you that you are never alone. And honestly, this movie was a beauty. I really enjoyed my viewing of it. I would want to watch this again at some point. I mean, it's not the type of movie where it's like, I need to rewatch this like 10 times this summer. Like, F1 is making me want to do it right now. But like, it is the type of movie where it's like, you love it and you would want to watch it again at some point, but not anytime soon. Actually, I kind of really want to watch some scenes, but not the entire movie. Like, it's not like that engaging, but you do enjoy a watch of it, and you do look forward to the future of the DCU in this manner. I like this movie. I give it a solid 78%. That is Superman, baby.